Hey, so now we're back on the podcast. I know we've taken a long break.
10 days.
10 days. Has it been 10 days?
We are dedicated to this.
It feels like it's been an eternity.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so let's recap. if we can. I don't know if we have enough time.
We can do a short recap.
Okay, so it started off when we were recording last podcast. There was that terrorist attack in New Orleans.
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy drove into the crowd. You know, because Biden's open border policies and everything else. Oh, no, wait. That turns out he was born here.
A selfish jerk-off.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, yeah. And born here. Yeah.
He was born here, yeah.
Homegrown terrorist.
Yeah. And then we had the guy who blew a Cybertruck out in front of a Trump Tower in Las Vegas.
Second homegrown terrorist.
Second homegrown terrorist.
And both former military.
Former military. They served on the same base in Texas.
Oh, okay. That I did not know. But it just goes to show that I'm like, you know, if we're going to sit there and say that we need more help with mental health, why aren't we starting like with our former military? Why don't we start the programs there? Those seem to me to be very needed. I mean, we could name other names too. Tim McVeigh comes to mind.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And the guy that did the Vegas one, he had serious mental health issues. He was being treated for depression. His wife had just left him. I think the guy in New Orleans, his wife had just left him too. But yeah, everybody was just quick to just blame open borders before they even knew the circumstances.
Have these guys, have they not thought about maybe just like going on Tinder or something? There's plenty of fish in the sea. Plenty of fish is one. Okay, Cupid. Yeah. I mean, you get your ass back out there.
I know. Just either, you know, just don't, word of advice, just don't pose with the fish. Okay? They pose with a fish, and then, or they'll pose with their AR.
It's really popular for them to pose with the AR-15 at the shooting range.
Take the MAGA hat off.
Yeah, that can be a turnoff. I mean, some girls might like that, but to me, when I had a situation this week where I went into a normal business, dude decked out in his Trump gear, you know, the hat, the shirt. I just started laughing because all I could think of was like, this is like one of those douches that's still rocking the Ed Hardy. Yeah. I'm like, and then to see if it was just a fading thought, I knew I didn't counter another one eventually in the day. And I did. Right when I rolled up and he came out in his Let's Go Brandon shirt, I was like, I just started laughing. They just thought I was in a good mood, you know, so it's easy to like play that off, you know. They got their dog coming out. I'm like, yes, hey, come here. Come get your milk bone.
Unfortunately, we got another 4 years of the Ed Hardy shirts.
Oh, and I think it will go beyond the 4 years.
Oh, yeah, this isn't going away anytime soon.
No, not going away. It's here to stay. This is America.
Yeah, and so everyone, again, they quickly try to somehow blame the left. Oh, somebody blew a truck up outside of Trump Tower. If it's not a Mexican, then it's going to be, must be a liberal. No, it turned out this guy was a Trump supporter.
How about, could we just maybe, like, wait for facts to come out and information before we... Because when I hear of a tragedy, I don't automatically try to figure out what happened. I'm like, I try to go and look for stories that I can read that might explain it better. Because guess what? I was not in Vegas and I was not in New Orleans. So I have no fucking clue.
Okay. Let's do this. I'll bring this point up. Do you remember the show Lassie?
Yes.
Okay.
Lassie.
And you know what the kid's name was?
Timmy or
Timmy.
Tommy?
Timmy.
Okay, Timmy.
Timmy.
Okay.
Well, everybody always has this quote in their head. Like, Lassie comes running up to the parents, barking. What, Lassie? What?
Timmy's in trouble.
Yeah. What happened to Timmy?
Timmy.
What they always say? What's that, Lassie? Timmy did what?
Got ate by a bear?
No.
It's been a while since I've watched.
We need someone older to answer that question.
He's doing
Would you
blow
like
with
me to answer
hookers.
that for you?
Timmy, yeah.
He fell down the well.
Right.
Fell down the
You
well.
always hear that, right?
Okay.
What's that, Lassie? Timmy? Timmy fell down the well? And I watched a few episodes of Lassie. I don't really remember that specific episode. I'm like, it must happen. Well, I don't know, because I like to research shit. Because Howard Stern was talking about Lassie. For whatever
How many
reason.
times has he fallen down a well?
Okay, here's the thing. Timmy never fell down the well.
Oh,
It didn't
Lassie
exist.
was wrong.
It didn't exist. But you would swear, or maybe not you, but we remember that. And we swear it's ingrained in our brain that, there must be an episode where Timmy fell down the well. Never happened. And that's kind of what goes on with these news stories, is you just hear it, and then you automatically believe it, and it gets singed into your brain.
In my defense, I was a way bigger Mr. Ed fan than Lassie, okay?
Well, I hate to break it to you, Mr. Ed didn't talk.
Say it isn't so.
Yeah, actually, that would be the Humane Society. They made like a fishing line would make us
I thought
move.
they used peanut butter or whatnot, so he would move his mouth like.
I don't know. There was
that's
no
what they said.
regulations back then. I think it's something more cruel.
I don't know. I really did like Mr. Ed though, and the Donna Reed show. Nick at Night.
Yeah. Were you the Munsters or Addams Family?
Both. How can you pick out of the two? Okay.
I preferred the Munsters, but the Addams Family I watched too.
Yeah, I watched both. I think that weren't the Addams Family a little more quirky though?
Yeah.
Like there was always
It was
like
in
that.
the theme song.
Yeah.
Creepy and kooky.
Kooky, but I don't know where that says quirky.
They're creepy and they're kooky. They're
Mysterious
all a
and
little
spooky.
We have a family.
Da-na-na-na.
Partridge Family or Brady Bunch?
Oh, the Brady Bunch.
Brady Bunch. Yeah.
So why do you think in the 50s and 60s there was so much of the trope of the child in peril, like Timmy falling down the well? Because that happened on the Brady Bunch too. My Three Sons, any of those shows. Leave It to Beaver.
I don't remember
Do you
Peter falling down the well.
Yeah, but he remember they went to Hawaii and he took that little figure and it was cursed.
Yeah.
I do remember that one.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and then Greg hit his head while he was surfing.
Yeah.
Marsha got hit in the face.
With a football.
Yeah. But probably because they wanted to relate stories to the American family to get us to love their show so much.
You know,
so he's like, the more you know.
Speaking of kids in peril, the creepiest one was Different Strokes, though, when the guy that played the head of the radio station WKRP in Cincinnati was the kid toucher, the bike shop guy in Different Strokes, and Arnold's little friend got molested.
Yeah.
That was like
on a very special episode.
Very special episode. You know, the first episode of this podcast was called A Very Special Episode.
Dude, the very special episode, do you guys remember the Silver Spoons one? Where it was like, it had to do with domestic violence. And Ricky's dad got like so upset that at like, I think it was one of Ricky's friends' parents. And he's like, yeah, well, the next time you hit her, you might kill her or something like that. It was like super intense. And it was like, this is like a message we really got to get out there about that it's not okay to beat the shit out of your wife.
Isn't it amazing that Jason Bateman's been around that long? Because Jason Bateman played his friend.
Jason Bateman. He's on my list. I mean, he's always been there. There is something about Jason Bateman that I have always been like, yes, please. He still looks just as good as he did when he was
looks
in
the same.
Teen Wolf.
I want to watch.
Was he part 2?
Yeah.
Michael J. Fox was Teen
Yeah.
Wolf 1, right?
I want to watch that movie on Netflix where he plays like the terrorist guy.
On the plane?
Yeah.
Okay, I started watching it, fell asleep. I gotta watch it again, but it is good. He's a creepy motherfucker.
He was great.
He's a dick.
He was great in Ozark.
I gotta finish watching that one too.
Oh my god, you didn't finish Ozark?
No.
Jeez.
You know what? I just realized. I think we're breaking through right now because we went way off topic and it was to fun shit. We're not getting sucked into the bullshit.
We're deflecting, yes. We're not going to let him consume the money.
Deflect.
But to bring it back to that, so then Trump has the press conference, right?
Okay.
And I'm already doing the thing with the hands.
You're getting into Trump mode. I need to get into having
you play an invisible accordion with your hands, you know? And we're going to name it the Gulf of America. He wants to name the Gulf of Mexico the Gulf of America. And Marjorie Taylor Greene's first thing of business in Congress says, I am going to bring that bill before Congress that we're going to rename it the Gulf of America.
What? Excuse me. I thought that fixing the border wall, because we have this border, in quotation, crisis happening under Joe Biden.
Right. I mean,
I thought that was at the top of the list. We're going to be
priority day one.
We're going to be deporting people.
And we're going to bring down the price of eggs.
We are going to get America back to being white day one. I mean, what in the fuck? And now she's more concerned with the Gulf of America.
The Gulf of America. And now we're getting into a war with Mexico over it because the president of Mexico is going to rename North America Mexicana Americana or something like that.
She had from America Mexicana.
Dude, she had a sick burn coming back. I was like, I like her. And then
here we are rooting for other countries.
No, we're not.
Remember, like in the 80s, it was always like Russia was the bad guy. You think now, like if Rocky IV came out now, everybody'd be rooting for Drago? It seems that way.
Can I just ask a girl question here? Was Drago Dolph Lundgren?
Yeah.
Okay. You're making me go very far back in the card files of my brain right now.
Well, again, this is what I have to do to distract myself from the news. So
it's working though. Look at how all this shit's working. We keep deflecting from that to talk about happy stuff. And
actually, can we name, like, wouldn't the Gulf of Mexico be international waters? So is it really our place to rename like a body of water?
Okay. The renaming of the Gulf of Mexico, isn't this kind of on the same level when they always bitch about the tearing down of statues, although the name of the Gulf of Mexico would have been there longer than any said fucking statues?
Right, because it was named...
What in the fuck?
It got named by a guy who was mapping out the coast of Mexico and California. Or not California, Texas, excuse me. That guy is the guy that named it because he discovered it. So I guess that's back in the day. If you discovered it, you get to name it.
I can't sometimes when with the selective outrage. That's why can we pivot back to Rocky? I can't with these people sometimes. I'm just like, oh.
And so we also haven't ruled out using military force to take over Greenland and the Panama Canal. Now, I just picture, what if Joe Biden, 10 days before he took office, what if he came out and gave a press conference like this? People would be like saying, oh my God, He's lost his mind.
Well, I heard other great minds go over this about like the whole thing with this is specifically to like Panama and Trump trying to take over that. And it's like the theory is, and this is true because I've been to Panama and they told us this on our historical tour, that Trump was doing the whole thing, making the statement about the Panama Canal to basically throw shade or do a diss at Jimmy Carter, because somehow Jimmy Carter is taking away, the death of Jimmy Carter is taking away from attention focused on Orange President Fallon.
I can't believe the flags will be at half-mast during my inauguration, and all the Democrats are celebrating it.
And his face when he had to go to the... Why didn't you just not go to the funeral then? You know, if it's going to be that much of a drag for you, you could have just not went.
Well, and truth be told, that on Richard Nixon's second inauguration, the flags were half-mast because a former president had died right before then. So it's not the first time it's happened.
It's something it's called respect, something that he does not understand.
Right.
You know, it's just a matter of respect. But so he wanted to, they're saying like he's trying to take the Panama Canal back because it is a well-known fact. Well, actually, I didn't learn it until I went to Panama, but...
So it's not well-known.
It's not well-known because we're not really taught a whole lot about how the government works, and like, you know...
We can't have that.
We're not focused on that so much in school anymore. But, like, so when I went there and went on the tour, the Panamanian guide that we had, he's like, and he said the year, and I cannot remember the year, but he said, President Jimmy Carter gave the Panama Canal back to Panama.
I think it was 79.
Okay, could have been. I mean, it would have had to been either like from 77 to
1980.
80. Yeah, because he was a one-term president.
Yeah, I think it was 79.
Right.
That's a Jimmy Carter. Hey, I do have to.
Oh, and also, quick other point. On the tour in Panama, Trump also has some sort of feud with Panama, because when we're on the tour, they take you by Old Town and New Town, and Old Town and New Town are like separated by this great like bridge thing that goes over between the two. So you're looking off into New Town, and he's like, see that big, beautiful hotel right there on the shoreline that looks like a sailboat? And we're like, yeah. And he's like, so that was supposed to be the Trump Hotel here in Panama. It's been built and everything. And then right at the end, before they were going to open it as the Trump Hotel, Panama decided that since he's running for president of the United States of America, it would be a conflict of interest. So we're looking into like the Ritz-Carlton, or because his hotels are nice. I mean, you got to give him that. Like one of those type of hotels,
unless there's a Cybertruck parked in front of it.
Right. Yeah, to buy the hotel though and take it over. So,
yeah.
Fun fact.
I did like Jimmy Carter's grandson's speech at the eulogy. That was really good.
What a cute guy too. I was like, oh, hello.
Is he on the list?
He is now on the list. Didn't know you before. On the list.
Would that be like Billy Carter's?
Or is it Amy Carter's son?
No, that's Green.
Isn't his daughter Amy?
His daughter's Amy.
Okay.
I would say that guy's too old though. Because Amy Carter would be probably a little bit older than me.
So the one that spoke, because he even made reference to his age.
He was 48 or something like
49, because I was like,
okay.
Oh, he's the same age as me? I was like, no way. Like, I'm like, I would have thought he was younger because, like, I don't know. I thought that.
I couldn't believe Obama was joking with Trump, because Trump was sitting right next to Obama, and they were sharing a moment, and Obama was laughing. I'm sure Trump was like,
But
you know, at my funeral, I'll need a bigger church because many more people will be here. And that's probably what Obama laughed at.
I know. Who knows? I don't. I just think that Obama's like just holds himself with so much grace and compassion, and he's good at dealing with
Yeah,
talking to people that he might necessarily not like. But
you have to have a sense of humor of it, because if Obama, at the press thing that they do every year, when Seth Meyers was making jokes about Trump, that's what got Trump to run for president. So Obama was probably like, yeah, it's pretty ironic that I'm sitting right next to this guy.
here's the thing with Obama. Obama is like the type of person that all of us should be like, and that fucking kills Republicans when they hear that, because they just but he is. He's like the type of person that you should strive to be like. I mean, he sits there. What does he say whenever he knows that it's probably not a good decision that we elected a reality TV show the first time, reality TV show host, and he said, we cannot get cynical. We have to, continue. And it's like, I know we can't, but I really fucking kind of want to be cynical in this moment, because I want to lay on the floor and scream and kick my feet and,
Or maybe it was this. Maybe it was just like, Obama, what you said was really mean. It's not really like this. It's like this.
I don't know. Who knows?
Ask Melania. Melania did not look happy to be there.
She looked like, I don't know. She just looked like, yeah, she looked like I voted for Kamala too, so I would not have to do this anymore. Why did it not work? like that's the only reason. Like, she doesn't really like Kamala, but she's just like, I want to vote for her, so I don't have to go do these first lady duties.
The highlight for me was when W gave Obama that little belly tap.
Yeah.
How sad was W that Michelle wasn't there? Because I heard that they're really good friends.
Yeah, at the last.
He's probably like, oh shucks, my pal, my bestie ain't here.
Yeah, it was at George's father's funeral, right? That him and Michelle were like sharing candy.
Yeah, well, and they always shows pictures when they get all the presidents together,
Yeah.
when one of them dies or whatever happens, It always shows them like sitting there like laughing. And
I mean, I'm sure Trump could probably be a fun guy if he wasn't talking politics and you were just hanging out with him.
Or about himself nonstop. Yeah. I mean, like, you'd be like, he's sitting there talking about himself. He's like, can we talk about something else you know a lot about? Can we talk about Arnold Palmer's dick?
Yeah.
Instead.
I mean, as much as I talk shit about him, I would not mind sitting down and talking with Trump. I'd be like, all right, cool, whatever. Behave.
I would have to wear like a chastity belt or something, just so there's something covering.
Stay arm's length away.
My ass is going to be in the seat 3 seats over. I'll just stretch across.
Snow, you're a very nasty woman.
I know, he would consider me that.
All right, so we're going to take over Panama Canal by military force, take over Greenland. I think there's like the supervillain motives on that, because I think Greenland has a lot of natural resources. Like, I heard the material that makes cell phones and car batteries can be there. It's just untapped. You send Don Jr. there. to scope it out, and then you pay off all these homeless people to wear MAGA hats.
Is he smart enough to be a supervillain? I'm thinking like Pinky and the Brain. There's no way he could be the Brain.
Elon could be the supervillain.
Oh, and then so Donald Trump's like the Pinky.
Yeah. See, now we can put this on Facebook, and they won't fact check us anymore.
You put whatever you want on Facebook.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why I was thinking about going back on Facebook just to try to sell stuff, but I'm like, well, now this is going right back to the reason why I got off of Facebook, because I got off of Facebook when the whistleblower came out. I'm like, I can't go back on now. Not if you're not going to fucking at least fact check. It's just going to be a huge dumpster fire. Yeah. Can there be a social media thing that can come out that's legit?
It always started because the Patriots coach got fired, and they were interviewing other coaches, and the NFL has this ruining rule that you have to interview at least 2 minorities in your coaching search. So the Patriots
DEI.
Yeah, the Patriots.
Don't tell that's going to blow some gaskets around here.
So the Patriots first interviewed 2 black guys in the position, even though they already know who they're going to hire.
Shouldn't?
No. This is a comment on Facebook. This is the point. He goes, the first comment I read is, I swear to God, goes, all right, now that we got the colored people out of the way, can we get serious? And I was just like, wait. I was like, I am not reading that comment. That cannot be that they left this on there. And yeah, that was it.
Okay, well, I have so many problems with this. First off, if they're going to do the rule in the NFL, the NFL that's sitting there saying we need to have 2 minority people shouldn't the minority people be the fucking white people if we're talking about the goddamn NFL?
Not if the majority of the coaches are white.
No, but the majority of the NFL,
although
the players, aren't the majority of the coaches former fucking players?
Well, I mean, the coaches are pretty diverse now, not compared to what they were 15 years ago.
I understand that, but my point is why is there even there shouldn't be the issue of we need to make sure that we're interviewing 2 minorities when you should have always been interviewing people of color for these positions. When, I don't know, do you guys actually watch fucking football? Do you watch the games? Do you look at the players? This shouldn't even be a fucking issue. It shouldn't. We should have more black coaches in the NFL.
Yeah. We're going to get more into DEI in just a few minutes.
But it is beyond fucking stupid. And then it's beyond stupid that this comes up to an argument. And then we got to listen to dumbass fucking white people. What do you guys do? Do you look away from the screen? Like it's a horror movie? Are you looking away every time the black players do something? Like, oh shit, here comes Jason with the fucking machete. Like, is that what's going on? I know, this pisses me off.
It pissed me off reading that comment. And speak about reading, Facebook pisses me off. We'll get to that in a minute. But I think Greenland, number one, you have the natural resources too. But the other thing with climate change, and I think the sinister part of my mind goes, well, the polar ice caps are going back. So as that's going to happen, what that's going to open up is a shipping lane to go to Europe. So instead of, if you look at a globe, and the quickest way to get to Europe is actually, you kind of fly north and come back down because it's a shorter distance.
From the United States?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're going across the ocean. Like, if you drew a line on the map and measured it, it'd be less distance to fly over Greenland.
Okay, so if this happens, fingers crossed that Europe doesn't decide to, put all its faith in China and go that route.
Well, that's why it's a
Because that's what they're considering.
that's why it's a security threat.
But that's what they're considering. Like recently, there was an article put out how the European Union, because of the election of Donald Trump and Elon Musk basically being the Dick Cheney, the real president, China doesn't want to deal, or excuse me, the European Union doesn't have complete faith and finds it very inconsistent if it is run under the two of them. And they may decide to go with China being more of who they want to work with.
Right. So basically, yeah, this is like the space race, okay, between us, China, and Russia, who gets control of Greenland, because they want control of that shipping lane. Now, that's also why we want the Panama Canal. Okay, because
Panama Canal is not ours.
But that's why we want it. Greenland's not ours either.
No, I realize that.
But it's getting control of those shipping lanes.
Why? I'm going to ask a question here. Why can't we just mind our own business? Mind our own damn business?
Isn't that what they usually say? Isn't like, hey, why are we giving all this foreign aid to this country? We should keep it in America. We should focus in on America. America first. Why
don't they focus on the American jobs and bringing shit back to America? Why aren't you focused? So if you're focused on getting things more America center and whatnot, why do you need to focus on these other countries if you're trying to get all America of the manufacturing back in America and you're trying to produce and keep things within America? Why are you worried about all those other things?
Well, I also think it's an ego thing, though, because he wants to merge with Canada or annex Canada, I guess is what he
wants Canada to be the 51st state. There's part of me that's like, maybe we'd get more senators. I mean, the Democrats would get more senators. I hate to break it to you guys, but and then
but all of Canada would only get 2 senators.
Yeah, okay, but fine. They would be Democratic senators.
There's a lot of conservatives in Canada too, though.
There are, but who do you think outnumbers who?
Do you hear what the Prime Minister of Canada said though about that? He goes, "Well, we should just accept the blue states," and I was just like, oh, I would certainly move to a blue state to become a Canadian citizen.
I know.
And it's funny that Trump says this ridiculous things, and then you have these leaders of foreign countries have to make jokes back to us about it because of how ridiculous it is.
Well, plus they're probably sitting there looking at us like, you guys are, your country's a fucking joke right now, so we're just gonna. Why wouldn't we want to get in on the laughter?
The whole world thinks we're a laughing stock. Yeah, they do now.
Yeah.
But on a more somber note, the wildfires in California, the Pacific Palisades, Malibu. Oh, no. I jumped the gun here. We also had the anniversary of January 6th, where they officially declared Trump the winner of the election. And I liked what Hakeem Jefferies said.
Let's go to
the audio.
Our favorite, is he the minority leader, right?
The congressman.
Is that his title? Okay. Let's go to him.
Yeah.
2 months ago, the American people elected Donald Trump as the 47th president of the United States of America.
Play a round of applause.
Take it in.
Thank you for that very generous applause. It's okay. There are no election deniers on our side of the aisle.
Notice how the applause is a little louder?
Burn.
Boom.
One should love America. One should love America when you win and when you lose.
Amen.
That's the patriotic thing to do, and that's the America that House Democrats will fight hard to preserve because we love this country.
Thank you, Hakeem Jefferies.
Yes.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah. I hope he runs for president.
And with such a sick burn. Dude, you know what's even better about that clip? It's too bad that our show isn't visual as well, because when they keep panning over to the look on the face of the speaker that you share the name with, Mike Johnson, oh my God, the look on his face, like, because he's all like eating it up whenever they do the first thing, oh, elected the 47th president. And then like when he goes, because there's no election deniers on our side, he's like, oh snap. The look on his face is
You
like,
got me.
yeah, you got us, right? Yep, we got all the election deniers over here.
Yeah, and it's officially that we're going to have the first convicted felon. Officially.
This is America.
It does go to show there's
USA.
It does
USA.
It goes to show there is two different justice systems, because we couldn't get away with 35 felonies and still be allowed to get away with nothing.
Shit.
Nothing.
Like Hunter Biden couldn't even get away with. How many did he get charged with?
It wasn't 35.
Right, way less than 35. The only way that he's spared is like, luckily and thankfully, his father pardoned him. But
Yeah.
they probably would have pursued that into can you imagine what would have happened if he did not get a pardon? Like, what they would have continued to go down the path of execution for Hunter Biden? I don't know. I don't know. Where was it going to end?
I don't know.
Where does it end?
Does that mean Trump has to give up his gun?
Does he really have one?
I think so. He says he does. I think he does.
Do you think he's actually ever shot it?
No. It's probably gold plated and has eagles on the fucking hand grips or something like that.
No way. It would be gold, but it would have to say Trump on it.
Oh yeah, big T.
There'd be
T right where they
Yeah.
can.
It would look like a version of them sneakers,
Yeah.
but like a gun.
You know, do you think, since he is a convicted felon, do you think, when he goes to state dinners with the foreign dignitaries, you think they're going to make him like an orange tuxedo? Like that inmate orange, and then like they'll put like the number on the back, 45, 47.
Wouldn't he like it though? Because like his skin's already orange. He'd be like, oh, now it matches my...
Yeah.
I didn't do the Trump voice right. It matches my skin tone.
Everyone's
I'm a winter person. Like, no, he would probably be a summer. I'm a summer person. You know how they do your coloring based on the season? Yeah. Sorry, I'm cracking myself up.
He needs to hire whoever does his spray tan. He needs to hire somebody else. So he needs to get a little more.
A makeup artist to just get in there with like a fine... Just get around the eyes so the eyes aren't like super white. He looks like an orange raccoon.
Elon, could you touch me up right here?
Oh.
Why doesn't he just fucking have that like tattooed on himself? Just tattoo it tattoo that color onto himself.
That pussy couldn't handle needles.
How long do you think he has to sit there? Well, he probably doesn't sit there very long.
For a spray tan? No, you just go and stand in there. Remember when that picture came out and it was showing him like naked in there getting his spray tan?
No.
And I go, because I was even like, is that really real though? I mean, because it was a picture of a big fat man with a micro penis. But then you're like, well, then you're going into like conspiracy brain. You're like, I don't know, maybe it is true. I mean, did you read what Stormy Daniels said about the penis?
Yeah.
I mean, if it real or not, it was disgusting. But I mean, I don't know if the person doing the tan was probably like, dude, I'm going to snap a picture really quick and get this leaked just to fuck with this guy.
You know, I like to Google stuff to research it, but I'm not researching that.
You know, that you can't handle.
I can't handle that.
You'd need to have like a barf bucket next to you.
Okay, yeah. So somehow in the middle of all these stories, I had forgotten it was the anniversary of 1/6, and
How could you forget? Never forget.
Yeah, we certainly didn't storm the Capitol.
No, did you notice how I hope America realizes
There
whole,
was a lot of weight on 1/6 again, though. That's because it was snowing.
Right, yeah. Too bad the snow couldn't happen the year that those jackasses tried to go there.
That would have been funny to watch them slip off the wall.
I know. With all...
Shit.
Of course, there would have been like all kinds of Trump snowmen out there that they would have made. He's the greatest.
Okay, before we get into this subject, I was thinking like last night, like I have a lot of empathy for other people and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And the fires going on. And I'm going, wow, for somebody that hates people so much like I do, I have a lot of empathy for others. I don't think that you
hate a lot of people though.
Oh, I do up there at the supermarket.
Oh, the supermarket's a different story. That's a whole nother.
But anyway, so we got the wildfires, and then back in October, before my unfortunate car incident, I was driving up through the Hollywood Hills, down into Malibu, through the Pacific Palisades, and just admiring the landscape and everything else, and just parked in Hollywood, walked up the hills, up to the Hollywood Bowl and stuff like that. Great area, great people, and everybody was friendly and stuff like that. And these fires are just like horrific.
I know.
As of yesterday, it was like 55 square miles, which is bigger than San Francisco and Minneapolis.
Hasn't there been a thing about how California has always been burning or on fire? I remember, like, when you just started talking about that, and, like, there was, like, a video back in the day. I think it was a band called Wax, and they had a guy just running through L.A. It was obviously a stunt man, but they, like, lit the guy on fire, and he's running through L.A. on fire. Do you remember that video?
No.
Oh, it was so cool. That was back when MTV actually played videos. It was, like, in the 90s. But it was a song about... I think the song was called, like, Southern California. And it was about all that. I'm like, man, maybe that person was like a prophet back then, saying, that California would keep continuously burning every year. And it's just getting worse now.
Well, because of the population and stuff like that, and the drought.
Because of the planet. Every time I think about Earth now, all I can see is, like, big, beautiful Earth, and she has a thermometer in her mouth because she doesn't feel good.
Well, my theory is, like, Earth itself is a living organism. Just like trees can communicate with each other. Like, I was watching Neil deGrasse Tyson, he was talking about how trees communicate with each other.
Well, if we can communicate, I mean, why wouldn't they be able to? Why isn't there other languages?
So, say Earth is a living organism. And we're pretty much a virus. The humans are a virus to this organism called Earth. And that is why these storms keep on getting bigger and bigger. I mean, who's heard of 100-mile-per-hour winds in Los Angeles? It gets windy there. Sure, Santa Ana winds come through the mountains and stuff like that. I've been there. It gets windy.
Are you trying to turn us into anti-vaxxers, though? Because, like, okay, we're supposed to be here, obviously. We got nowhere else to go. Like, Richard Gere, okay? Like, this is all of our home. Like, so we're supposed to be here for a reason. So now you're trying to tell me that viruses are fucking supposed to be.
Well, that's where Elon comes in. We're going to go infect another planet.
That's what irritates me about it. But also I'm kind of like, you know what? You want to go I live on Earth. Earth is my home. That's where I live. Yeah. I can choose to live wherever I want on this planet, but I live here. You want to go to planet B? You go there. You go to Mars. But I feel sorry for Mars.
Did you watch that movie Don't Look Up?
Yes.
When the asteroid was coming? And that movie was just very ironic to what's going on now.
Right.
It was very fitting what happened to all the rich people at the end of that movie.
Right.
Did you stay through the credits and watch the very end?
Yeah. Meryl Streep and all that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's exactly what I hope would happen to them when they get to another planet.
Well, it's like... They got a lot of nerve. First off, if humans were intended to be on Mars, then they would already be there.
Yeah.
You know, they would be there.
Besides, they didn't watch that Matt Damon movie?
The Martian.
Yeah.
That's a good movie too, actually. But yeah, like we have no business being there. We belong to this planet. This is where... But you know what? But I'm also there's a selfish part of me that's like, no, you know what? Go. We don't want you here no more. Like, yeah, all you guys go to your other planet and then we'll clean this up. And if you try to ever come back, you're going to be spinning the block. Like Hakeem Jefferies said, made that ex-boyfriend spinning the block. You ain't coming back. You throw that motherfucker's letter in the trash with the junk mail where it deserves. You ain't coming back.
You don't acknowledge them. My point being is that if we need to share the earth, we need to coexist with the earth and start treating it better. I know that sounds very hippie-ish, but these fires...
Or does it sound very Native American-ish?
That too.
You know? Like, maybe we shouldn't have fucked with all this stuff.
Well, don't they worship nature?
That's what I'm saying. I'm like,
We don't.
The good way was destroyed. I mean, not that there couldn't be room for maybe a little bit of innovation, you know, better houses, you know.
Well,
better structure, maybe.
Here's where Facebook comments pissed me off about that, too, is because we had, you know, one of the county board of supervisors immediately posted, citing the acclaimed journalist at the New York Post.
Which is owned by Rupert Murdoch, who owns Fox News, so that's trusted.
That it was because of DEI practices why the fire department was not capable of handling these fires.
Because a lesbian woman runs the LA Fire Department, don't you know? And that's a huge kick in the nuts to all these men. Despite the fact that she's been a firefighter for 22 years and is well qualified, and none of the firefighters came out and spoke out against her because obviously she's respected at her job and it's not her fault for why this is happening. It's like...
Did you hear her qualifications? She was a very qualified woman.
Right. I bet you anything that, like, a lot of the guys that she works with probably all have her back too.
Yeah.
But we can't ask them.
Again, though, this was the first night of the fires, and he's already posting this fucking bullshit. And I was just like, hey, how about just a little bit of empathy for 1 second? 1 second. There'll be plenty of time for blame down the road. Okay, we can figure out what happened. And if that's the case, that's the case. Okay, but this. And he posted something. So then I posted something back to him that said, well, hey, if there was a natural disaster here, would you like all fingers pointed at you? Blaming you if it wasn't your fault. And he must not have enjoyed that because he literally wrote me a manifesto the next day. And I could just picture that he had to be up all night long researching because it was a well thought out response.
Finding someone else's article, slightly changing it so he doesn't get in trouble for plagiarizing again.
Copy and paste.
Yeah. Huh. You know what cracked me up was, so I'm not on Facebook, but you sent me this stuff, and so I got to read it, and I'm like, you know, this man, and we won't say his name, always professes so much to be a man of God and all this stuff, why is it that when I read the comments from him and the comments from you, how come you sounded more like Jesus than him? He's like not considered considering the welfare of
Michael.
people.
Michael, if you translate it, is doesn't mean godlike. No, again, just made me very angry. Now he brought up some good points, okay, but none of that has to do with.
Well, he's not a complete moron, but he's
no. That's what pisses me off about him when he makes comments like that, is because he's just pandering to the meatheads around here, to say the trigger words to get them pissed off, and not accounting for the 100-mile-an-hour winds, which are picking up embers and blowing them. Yes, was there too much vegetation? Yeah, there's a lot of vegetation in that area. Are the houses built right on top of each other? Yes, but that's greed. That is greed to build houses that close to each other.
Okay, also not accounting for the fact that when you have houses that are built that close to one another due to greed and wanting to get as much homes as you can get because you got more money, from each separate domicile.
Yeah.
Okay. He is not taking into consideration that when the fire starts with one or a few of those and then it keeps spreading, okay, they have water in the reservoirs. But once those pipes start bursting, what do you think happens to the water pressure?
And then you have everyone whose house isn't on fire yet, they're out there spraying down their houses with the garden hoses.
But
then you have the fire departments going in there and using the fire hydrants because the wind is going way too fast. You cannot fly planes or helicopters to drop water.
But what do you think happens to the water pressure? Because I had this happen, okay, at my home when we had like a weird freakish freeze one year. And I go to use my kitchen sink. And there was, still water coming out, but I could tell that the water pressure was off. So then I go outside and I realize, a pipe burst. That's going to affect your water pressure.
Yeah.
So when they're sitting there putting out all these pictures of the fire hydrants and no water coming out of the fire hydrants, it's because it doesn't have water pressure. Because ask people that actually live in the area. They're like, we have water in the reservoirs, but it's not going to do a bit of good. Yeah. You can't pump it the fuck out of there.
Well, I talk to people, because of my job, I talk to people all around the country every day.
Right.
And I talk to people in the area, and they're citing, and I'd just be like, wow, how you doing? Glad you're safe, And I would ask them, what's happening in your area and stuff like that, because they were sort of close to the fires. But they would cite that. They would cite, because of the government, there's not enough water. This brings it back to the Timmy falling in the well thing. It never happened, but people are just repeating what they've heard.
Well, the thing is, too, it's okay, they're not wrong. They're not 100% wrong on the fault of the government. It is, but when was your house built? When were these houses built? It was it was poor planning back then that also caused this problem. And even bigger, if you want to step back and look at outside of the box, it's because of things going on with, dare I say the dreaded word, climate change or global warming. Yeah. It's because of situations like that is producing higher winds than usual.
It was literally the perfect storm.
Yeah, exactly.
The perfect storm. And Joe Rogan was talking to a firefighter friend, and this was even before this happened. I saw this clip of this clip of Joe Rogan was before this fire.
Okay.
And he predicted, he was talking to a firefighter friend that predicted something like this would happen eventually. And there'd be no way to stop it. Mm-hmm. And it's not because of a smelt in Sacramento.
Because
No, there's a little bit of truth to that. There's a little bit of truth that they can only release so many gallons of water from this reservoir every day in Sacramento that flows down. But the majority of water
smell is more of like a northern.
It is. That's why I said
California
Sacramento.
issue.
But there's a reservoir there, and they are only allowed to release so much water per day from that reservoir.
But
Partially
they've been doing
because
that
of
since the
smoke.
1990s. That's been in place since then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
way before Gavin Newsom.
Yeah, so stop blaming Gavin Newsom.
And for Trump to put out his first statement with zero empathy, Governor Newscum, like, dude, just have a little bit of fucking empathy. Like, hey, it's a horrific thing. We feel bad. Our first priority should be for the people of this area. And that was pretty much what I wrote to the supervisor. I was like, hey, we should just at least have a little bit for right now. Right now, let's just focus on these people and doing what we can to help them. It's time for the blame later.
Right. I know, that's why I'm saying your comments sounded more like Jesus. His?
Yeah.
Should I say Satan?
Well,
Is that what the church lady used to say?
I also don't think he appreciated, like, hey, what's prayers going to do? What's praying really going to do about this?
Okay, that is exactly why I'm saying what I'm saying, though, because he always resorts to the thought and prayers. He's one of those thoughts and prayers guy. But it's only you typing out the actual words of thoughts and prayers, because you're not even really having genuine thoughts.
Yeah.
And I doubt that you're actually praying for the people of California.
Meanwhile, he's not, because he rags on California all the time until he goes on vacation out there. And then, but no, he's DEI, fire, liberals. You know what I mean? He's actually giddy about it. In a way.
And more important, his fucking dick is super hard. All of them's dicks were so super fucking hard when this happened to California. Do you think that you would have heard a peep out of these motherfuckers if this happened in Texas? No, because where were they? Where was the right to sit there and call out Ted Cruz for taking off to Mexico while the state was suffering with their heat issue? The not having the heat wasn't it like during winter? They had like no heat because of the way that they run their electrical company there.
Right, the electrical grid could not hold up to the temperature.
Right.
And then Ted Cruz jumps on a plane.
I almost said his name. Where was that motherfucker to sit there and say that? Did you ever hear him make a statement against what's going on in fucking Texas? Yeah. No, because it wasn't a blue state, and it wasn't the blue state to pick on.
Not only did Ted Cruz go on vacation, he left his dog behind.
He's even a bigger bitch than I thought. You could have at least taken the dog to a doggy daycare center, you asshole.
Now, you know how like the Arizona Cardinals and the Los Angeles Rams are huge rivals because they're in the same division?
Right.
The Cardinals flew their plane out to get the Rams because they had to move the game from Los Angeles to Phoenix.
Right.
They flew 2 planes out to also bring back the families and the family dogs and bring them to Phoenix.
Oh, oh my gosh. If I wasn't already a 49ers fan.
Yeah, but fuck those Cardinals.
Here's the thing. I've been a 49ers fan since Joe Montana days. Those were the 80s. Where were the Cardinals in the 80s? They sure as shit weren't in Arizona. So there you go.
I had to turn off the news once it got to the pet thing and the animals.
Yeah.
I was like, I can't watch this.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, thoughts go out to everybody in that area. And, you know, I know the other thing that people were saying was they were naming all the celebrities, and they're kind of like, good. They don't really need our thoughts and prayers. They have enough money.
Well, did they... Hold on. Let me ask a question.
I just say a comment.
Did they say that about James Woods and Mel Gibson?
Probably.
Or did they leave those two off the list?
They left those two off.
Of fucking course they did. This is what I'm talking about. I'm like, look, I feel bad for James Woods and Mel Gibson too for losing their houses. You know, I think their shitty responses And the thing about James Woods, like, okay, sir, I've heard the rumors about you that you have a huge slong. Why do you have to act like a big dick then? Why? If you've already... I don't get it.
Yeah, I mean, but like stuff like Billy Crystal, I'm sure he had a lot of stuff over the course of his career that he has saved. You know, I mean, and that stuff can't be replaced.
All the stuff from City Slickers and When Harry Met Sally.
So yeah, so I feel empathy for these celebrities. You know, I mean, they're not going to have a hard time like other regular people, you know, finding another house and stuff.
We know that part, but I feel bad for anyone that loses their entire life. Like your life is in your home. Like just all of your stuff, shit that you can never replace. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that you can. I mean, look at all my wall decorations. Sure, I could replace that. But, like, there's sentimental shit there, too. I mean, and just the fact that when anything happens to your house, like if you've been broken into, which I have before, not this house, but actually this house. It's a different story. But, you feel very violated. A fire would feel violating too. It just wiped out everything that you have. It's not like you can't still feel the emotions.
I had a fire at a condo, and I lost everything in my garage. Lost my motorcycle and a bunch of photos and stuff like that. And it's a traumatizing thing to go through.
Yeah.
Luckily, the fire department was most of my possessions were being able to be saved. Everything smelled like smoke for quite a while though. But yeah, I mean, so I guess what's disheartening about people, and I don't know where we came to disconnect of just a lack of empathy.
Well,
like when the hurricanes hit North Carolina and the rural parts of North Carolina, I wasn't thinking no empathy. I felt generally sad for those people, even though they didn't vote the way I did. And remember even as the hurricane was coming in, I have Republican friends on the coast of Florida. I was telling them to get out.
Yeah. And some of them did not listen to you.
Like, nope. To me.
Nope, I'm staying.
You know who I'm talking about. They never listen to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was telling them get out.
No, but friend of the podcast though, Charity, she got the fuck out. She was like, I'm fucking leaving. Yeah. I'm not gonna be a dumbass. You know?
It's fucking
crazy world,
and that has all happened within 10 days. I think we need to do a new segment on this, and you know that Billy Joel song, "We Didn't Start the Fire," is we'll just like
we didn't start the fire.
Yeah.
It was always burning.
Well, no, but not that part. You know, I can't think of the lyrics. But he rattles off events like really fast.
JFK blown away. What else do I have to say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that.
Okay.
That's gonna be the podcast every week.
If I kept thinking about it, I could come up with some other lyrics. I've been listening to a lot of Billy Joel lately too. I've been getting into the older, like him and Elton John. I don't know if it's because of that rival, but like they're both in my playlist, and I'm like, I really am enjoying listening to all these old tunes.
Yeah. I mean, it could be something like, you know, Jack Smith, Alito, Gulf of Mexico. You know, just
Gulf of Mexico would work. Would we be able to somehow be like changing into Gulf of America and try to rhyme something with, to do it from both perspectives? Maybe show how much more ridiculous the song would sound. Maybe we could teach people through music.
At least I'm glad. I'm not saying glad. It's fortunate. I don't know if that's a good word, or it's lucky that this happened while Biden was still president, because Biden can just, you know, sign the emergency declaration, get federal funding to go help these people.
Yeah, didn't he sign something for like 180 days to help California?
Because do you think
No.
Trump
No, I didn't
Would've
even
been
have to
that.
hear the T word. No, I don't. I think they would have been cut off. Or it would have been a situation similar to him making a photo op to go there and throw paper towels, but perhaps not paper towel. Maybe he'd just bring cans of gasoline there with him and be like, got some gasoline to take care of the problem. I got some gasoline.
He'd show up with like those hefty bags, those big hefty bags, and be throwing those at people. Here, go get your possessions. I got some bags, some very tough, strong bags.
Something like that. Like,
Fuck, we're in for a wild ride. I guess that's why we need to focus in on, fucking old stuff like Ray and I, like, we'll sit there and just watch old 60s cartoons and stuff and land at Lost.
on Boomerang?
No, there's just some YouTube.
Oh, okay.
Like, we went down like a Tennessee Tuxedo rabbit hole.
I used to love the Boomerang Network, though. They would show all the old cartoons with those, like, globby guys. I can't remember which one that one is.
Yeah.
The one with, like, the one with, like, those glob thing. They're not really, like...
We didn't realize Tennessee Tuxedo was before its time, though, because him and the walrus, Chumley, they would always go to a relationship counselor at the end of every episode. The professor with the magic
I've never
blackboard.
seen that one. I've never seen the tenant. I don't even know what you're talking about.
I would say
It's really a little before our time.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, it came out
that's
in the
why.
60s.
That's why I don't know what it is. But like, probably my favorite.
It's the voice of the guy from Get Smart.
Oh,
Don
okay.
Evans.
I like that guy. My favorite old cartoon has got to be hands down the Flintstones. I'm like a Flintstones geek.
Oh, mine was Bugs Bunny.
Well, I like him too, but the Flintstones, I don't know.
And I guess that's where we learned empathy was from the little fucking chipmunk things. Were they chipmunks? Or were they... What were they? The Gophers. They were Gophers.
The Gophers. The
The Goofy Gophers. And you know, they're like, oh, no, after you, please. No, after you.
So, such manners.
Yeah. That's what we need. We need more Goofy Gophers.
Out of the what were they? What is Bugs Bunny? Is he Warner Brothers?
Yeah, Warner Brothers.
So hands down, my favorite. I love the fucking coyote, dude. The coyote, I can't with him. Like,
You know, my favorite's
the stupid look on his face all the time
Wiley
when he
Coyote.
comes up with it, what he thinks is a brilliant
Why?
plan, and then it doesn't work out, and he's like.
Wiley Coyote, genius, has brains, will travel.
Totally. He is the best.
My favorite is Buzzard. Now, the Buzzard would definitely be a Trump supporter, though.
The-
Hold, no. Not gonna do it. No.
There wasn't two? Or am I thinking of Heckle and Jekyll?
No, there was just one Buzzard. But he had a
Oh,
Buzzard
I'm
family,
thinking
and he had the mom.
Okay.
Killer! You know?
Okay. Yeah.
And he, okay, Killer, you're gonna go hunting. Hold, no, I'm gonna do it. No,
Okay,
no.
so then I gotta do, since we're basically sidekicks, I gotta ask the question. Hey, Wayne, when you saw Bugs Bunny dressed up like a female, I'm asking you because you're a dude.
Did you
Did
get
you
that
ever find her attractive? Did you, MJ? Did you?
No. Jessica Rabbit, though, was kind of hot.
That's a different rabbit. That's not the same rabbit.
I know, but
She wasn't bad. She was just drawn that way.
Exactly.
all right. See, this is what to expect out of the podcast for the next 4 years.
This is good though. Again, we reverted to breakthrough.
Yeah.
We went just minutes there being silly and not
Yes.
thinking about shitty shit.
Yeah. So follow us over the next few years on our self-help journey on reality redemption. Until next time.
We out of here.
Yeah, God.
Bye, y'all.
That's all, folks.